What's up, y'all? Here we are. Well, I'm kind of 20 minutes late here with this live stream. I kind of forgot about it, but um, so something happened yesterday. Um, there usually when I do these kind of live streams, it's usually people on Twitter because Twitter is usually the place where this happens. But it's been happening on Instagram now, which is weird because that's kind of where I started. And Instagram has been mostly relatively friendly, and it still is. I do consider it still very friendly. Um, so, but this has been on Instagram, and hello Max, what's up? Darcidius, hello. I'm gonna be putting the invite link. If you can't tell, I'm sick. That's why I'm doing a live stream at 12 o'clock on a Friday. I don't feel well, so I took some medicine earlier, so I'm feeling better, but I still don't feel well. So. But putting the for I don't know if you can join next because you're at work, but for anyone else who wants to join on Discord, I'm putting the invite link. Um, if you would like to join. So I'm just gonna wait for some more people to join if anyone else will still join. In fact, I think I'm just gonna share the live stream on Discord and add everyone. I know that's annoying, but I don't care. Where's the actual stream link? Maybe I think I have to actually go to YouTube for that. We'll get to the making fun of EU haters in a second. I promise we will. YouTube, Pro V, add everyone. Please come join so I'm not talking to myself for 30 minutes. Or however long this live stream will be, I don't know. Slav is here. Watch this while at work. That's awesome. Alex is here. Slav. What's up, Alex? Nothing too much. You sound sick? Yeah, I am. But just because I'm sick does not mean that defending the EU stops. It still continues, and it will always continue. So, some of you guys are already aware of what's going on in Instagram. I know Max is. I don't know about Alex and Slav. Let me just share my screen here, and I'll show you. How do I do that again? Oh, present. Share screen. So here we are. We are on, and let me get YouTube on my phone here. That way. That way I can see stream chat. All right, let's get it started. So this is a collection of memes from this person, Fancy Star Wars. I'm gonna show you guys some DMs I had with this person, and we'll go through that. Because there's some interesting points I want to make there. This is what the post says: Star Wars would have been better off without Disney, without making so much Legends. Half of Star Wars Legends be like, and then this kind of making it look like, the EU is just a bunch of crazy, bullshit. Which is not true. Obviously, we all know that. And then this is what I put. Obviously, it is kind of a popular comment, but it's also has some backlash. So, and then here's some of my followers here: IBMM, Gang Star Wars EU on IG. Now, what I really wanted to talk about was this guy. Star Wars Legends Facts. I was friends with him. I guess not anymore. Um, he wrote, "It feels so good to be able to laugh at that third side and not have a effing stick up my ass about it." Um, it's. I mean, I don't think this is funny because it's not true. Um, and I think with memes, especially, I mean, if this was about the Disney canon, it let you just reword this, you know, about the Disney canon, and half of the Disney canon be like, and it's something like this. People would not laugh at that. People would get so mad at that, and it would cause just controversy because obviously, yeah, it's a meme, but there's a lot more to it, right? It's a meme that memes are satirical ways of showing an idea, and that is what this is doing here. And I'll prove to you this is what this Instagrammer had in mind because I'll show you not only their stories because they were posting stuff on their stories, but DMs I had. And then here's another follower of hers, another big Instagram account. That Legends one is so true. Half of it is absolutely insane. So like people are serious about this. And the fact that this guy is not privy to that is ridiculous. I do want to show you guys some of my responses. I got ratioed, haha. Um, and of course, I've kind of just said what I've always said. And then they said, Lance, it's a effing meme. I laughed at it. Defend the EU all the time. I also don't want to waste time sucking its D. I mean, this guy is like, I think this guy is pretty angry. Um, you can see I'm not really swearing. I'm not really doing anything like that, or mostly. Um, and then this guy, Lance, you shouldn't be lecturing anyone on growing a spine when you're getting so insulted over a meme. I'm not insulted over this. Well, maybe I am, but I mean, you can enjoy something and still make jokes about it. I make jokes about the EU all the time. But then I don't go around and defend those jokes as if they're facts, because that's what people are doing here. Lance been quiet since that one dropped. It was 1:00 in the morning. See, look at this guy. Rage? Trying to figure out where the rage is. Sorry, I probably should be seeing if people are joining. I guess no one's joined. Okay. That's one of my followers. I guess he didn't follow. I guess he hasn't. He unfollowed me. How about that? Oh, he was one of my followers. I recognize this guy. But yeah, I mean, these people are just like defensive over this. And then when they see people getting mad at this because they don't like the look it gives the EU, you get people like this that are like fanatic much, obsessive and fanatical as to how you are dictating to others what they must and must not do. I'm not doing that. I'm just calling out what people have done. You were barely even breathing when episode 3 came out. Yeah, you're right. As if that's any sort of an insult. Grow a effing funny bone. I mean, you guys know me. I have a funny bone. It's just crazy what some of these people are saying here. Let's keep going. Here's of course I was responding to this guy. So better than most of the new canon we got, in my opinion. There you go. And the canon comics have similarly weird shit too. Infamous Star Wars fan, good on you for saying that because it's true. And I said, prove it. And I've said that throughout so many of and I'll show you at other places. Prove it. Prove how most of the EU, or half of it, is absolutely insane. And they haven't done it yet. And then he said, people are allowed to have opinions. And then I'm like, remember that the next time someone calls Ray a Mary Sue, because trust me, this person and others would get mad at that. And they have a right to be. If they don't think that's right, if they think that's incorrect, then they have a right to defend that. I'm trying to think. Well, I'm gonna go back to my comment and look at some of the replies there. There's obviously a lot of discourse here. Legends lore is a cluster F. Don't even. It also CB. That's so pretentious. Who's Null? I don't know who that is. It's a clusterfuck of shit. It's a clusterfuck of shit. And again, I asked how, and he didn't answer me. He just sent a bunch of skulls. And then I said, here you are defending the meme's principle. Clearly, it's more than a meme. Are you going to make claims that no, he didn't do any of that? I did want to go down, and there was a certain comment I do want to find. It's this comment here. No, this comment. This is the only person out of this entire thread that actually tried to give me an example. But I'm gonna give you guys a second and just read this. Just read it, and you'll see the problem with the comment. I'm gonna read some questions real quick. Or comments. Hello, Max. I gotta blow your nose or blow my nose. Yeah, I do. Remember when they say that most of the EU is insane? They'll just mention Jackson or Skippy or Mount Sorrow. Yeah, which they haven't even done that. So anyway, if you read this, hey man, there's a Star Wars Legends book, The Glove of Darth Vader, where a space jello monster gives Han and Luke orgasms. Legends is an effing mess, but it's fun to read. This guy confused the glove of Darth Vader with the crystal star. That is pretty sad. You got them both confused. That shows you the knowledge that this person has, and the fact that people liked it. Let's look at the likes here. These people don't know what they're talking about either. It's just, and again, this is one story. This is two story out of thousands the EU has. How does that prove that half of the EU is bad? That's what I don't understand. Now, what I will say is this person, I did end up, he did end up following me, and he did end up apologizing to me in his DM and my DMs and saying, yeah, I was wrong, and you got me. And then I ended up inviting him to the Discord. I invited him to join our movement. We'll see if he does or if he does, but very interesting. Legends lore is ridiculous. Again, he didn't provide any sort of examples. I mean, this is just all claims, no evidence, and that makes sense because they haven't read any of it. That's the problem. They haven't read squat. And then there was another. This I think is hilarious. What people think when they think of Disney Star Wars. This show shouldn't even be on this list. Yeah, it's season 7 of the Clone Wars, but Disney shouldn't be getting a pat on the back for making this because they canceled it in the first place. And they just brought it back. What's the point of doing that? They shouldn't be getting a pat on the back for that. Anyway, that's something else. I think I don't complain about most things, but I do agree Legends was better for the most part, at least the part they could or would have used if they just brought the stories. Well, I mean, I agree with the premise, but I don't agree with how Disney should have handled it. I get sick of all the Legends elitists. That's why we keep doing this because it makes people mad. As a Legends fan, Legends could definitely be quite silly at times. I mean, that's true. I don't think anybody's denying that. I'm not denying there are silly crap in the EU. But is the new canon exempt from that? No. In the Poe Dameron children's novels, there's a fart wedding. A wedding where a bunch of people are just farting the whole time. In the High Republic, there is a navigator who's literally a rock. They're in some of the Marvel comics. Yoda fights these large rock creatures. Um, I know I'm forgetting some other things. I mean, if you just look at the movies, there's a legion of teddy bears that don't know anything. They're able to defeat the most powerful galactic empire's navy, or not navy, but soldiers. So that's the whole point of. And look at this meme itself. Look, it's a hut here. Guess what? Huts, big fat ugly slugs, are the most powerful crime lords in the galaxy. So like, I mean, how is that different than anything the EU had? Yeah, it's silly, but is it bad? Star Wars Legends is a beautiful universe. Amen. All I'm saying is just the Old Republic and the Skywalker family. I don't know what that person's talking about. Um, anyway, so I'm going to look at some DMs I had with this person because I just want to show you why people do this. They don't do this because they believe it. Well, this person may actually believe it. I don't know. So I reposted the post and I put rate this person's comment section. I said be stern though and civil, and they have been, because I'm not a big believer in, you know, being toxic. And you know, she was like, "This is just a subjective thing. You know, this is just my opinion." And then they said, I sadly don't believe in objectivity when it comes to art and film. Sorry." Which, to a degree, I would agree with, but I would also be like, well, there are times when it's not right. When there are things that are objectively wrong. Like, for example, when archetypes are not followed correctly, that's objectively wrong. Um, and then, see, all you care about is clicks and likes. Oh, yes, making people angry over petty things. Apparently, this is petty. Will make them do such drastic things. It's an ingenious strategy. I really don't understand what they were saying there. Then I wrote this. My English isn't good enough to comprehend whatever you just wrote. Sorry. I'm literally the queen of slander. I do these things on purpose. And I've said, and by this point, I've said 3 times that they just care about clicks and likes. They don't care about Star Wars. And then, you know, mom said I can't be mean to kids. I'm not a kid, but whatever. Anyway, this person is just wanting clicks and likes. They just want attention. Yeah, I'm giving it to them, but at the same time, I need to say something because I don't want people to think that what they're saying is true. It's not true. Most of the EU is good. It's either okay, decent, or good, or great, or amazing. Yes, there is silly crap in the EU. There is silliness. There is ridiculousness, but most of it is not that. So when you get memes like this, I mean, yeah, it's gonna rile people up because people don't like this. People don't like when the story is insulted like this, even if it's a joke. It's not a joke to people. Because again, if you were to make a meme like this about the new canon, this would not be seen as it's just a joke, bro. It would have been seen as criticism of the new canon. It wouldn't be criticism; it would be toxicity. Because I don't believe half of the Disney canon is this. I believe a lot of it is, but I don't believe half of it is. So it's just, I mean, it's just crazy, and that's why I respond to this. That's why I doing this live stream now because I mean, and then people like this who claim to be Legends fans, EU fans, they make comments like this, like you know, it's ridiculous. And then of course people like this, I mean, oh, it's so true. It's half of it's absolutely insane. It's crazy. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing and bring some other people on.
Hello.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hanging in there.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hello? Can you hear me?
Oh wait, I have my volume off. That's on me.
Okay.
No worries, man. No worries.
Oh wait, I have my volume off. That's on me.
Oh boy.
Anyway, what are y'all up to?
Just got in from feeding the kitties, and I saw the Lance was on. I was like, ooh, I better hop on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all that last night, so I was like, I wanted to say some things too. But I'm going to work soon. That's all I'm really doing today. So.
Yeah, I'll be working maybe tonight. I'm not sure. I didn't go to school today, so
Yeah.
still deciding if I should go to work. But I mean, I don't have a fever. I woke up and just felt terrible. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I still
I'm
feel
sorry,
bad.
man.
It's all right. It gives me time to do this.
That's fair.
Yeah, so roasting the EU haters.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just I don't know. And a lot of that, what I just showed, a lot of that, there was a lot of gaslighting in there. There was a lot of guilt tripping in there. There was a lot of just trying to make you feel like shit because you disagreed with someone. It's not that I disagree with them. I thought what they were saying was objectively wrong, on numerous levels. So, plus
I
they've never read any of it, and they're over here thinking they have a right to an opinion. So,
well, the thing is, because I don't know people's hearts, I don't know people's minds, I don't know who's actually in that comment section has read it or not. Some may genuinely believe that it's all bad, and they can have that opinion. The issue is that there's a good portion of that person's followers, which most certainly have not read the EU. They just follow that person's account, and they accept that as facts when it's just a meme, and that's okay in of itself. If the person who made that meme actually knows about the EU and is making those memes, whatever, that's fine. But your followers, who may not be as knowledgeable as you, if I'm being that charitable, don't. And so when you say that, and they just go, okay, well then all the EU is bad, and they're never going to actually do their research because people just accept what other people say. So that's my biggest issue with it. Is
Oh,
that
it's popular, so it must be right.
yeah, that's the thing. Because every Star Wars, like Instagram account that's not about Legends is usually more popular. So, but yeah, I mean, people are free to their opinions, but I think anybody who's given any significant amount of time to the EU would know factually that there is silly stuff, but a good 70 to 80% of it is pretty solid and good, or okay, like Lance was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and yeah, here's the thing, like, I guess they must not be super hardcore sci-fi fans because like all of sci-fi has silly stuff in it. So it's like,
does anybody remember in Star Trek when there was an episode with a literal talking baby?
or what about Tom Paris turning in Janeway turning into salamanders and having salamander babies?
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it was the worst episode of Voyager. But it's like, yeah, it's all sci-fi has always been weird.
Yeah.
do y'all remember in Marvel where they turned a Norse god into a superhero?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that any
We
different?
all got to hit on it, man.
Yeah, I mean, Thor now is one of the
No.
most popular characters, and rightfully so. But just think about how ridiculous that is. They took
Star
a
Wars
Norse god and made him into a superhero.
I mean, Star Wars, like Marcel says in the comments, isn't really sci-fi. It's basically fantasy in space, but still, fantasy has dwarves and dragons and silly stuff like that don't actually exist, and silly magic that can do silly things. And it's like, but people take that seriously, So just because it has that stuff doesn't mean that all of it is bad. Harry Potter has his ants become like a balloon and fly away, and that's pretty silly. but people still take that film seriously. So, yeah.
Well, people aren't allowed to be serious. I mean, and again, the Disney canon, I provided some examples earlier, has its own set of crazy crap, you know. And that's gonna happen in all franchises. DC has it, Marvel has it. I know I'm mentioning like superhero stuff, but all major franchises have it, and they always will have it because that's just what it is. So, but if it's the EU, we can't have it. We're not allowed to. Everybody else is.
Yeah.
So,
It's fine for everything else.
Completely side note. Completely side note, but I just had a little a thing on a Discord from Noah's server, and he said that he was talking to a girl that he's friends with, and how she said that he looks like Tom Holland a little bit, and I started that meme. So he said "F you, Alex," and I just wanted to mention that because I think it's hilarious. So, because if you like freeze frame him, sometimes he just looks like a German blonde version of Tom Holland. Especially if you look at him from like a Civil War. If you take that Spider-Man specifically, where he has that haircut and everything, I'm telling you, it's so similar. It's funny. But yeah, as for EU haters, it's mostly ignorance. I don't think most people actually know what they're talking about. Some might genuinely believe that it's bad, and that they're free to that opinion. But I have to see proof that you've at least actually read the stuff that you're talking about, because then I can go, okay, well, we just have a difference of opinion. Like me and Lance aren't exactly eye to eye on Bounty Hunter Wars. We both read the same thing though. All right, we have slightly different opinions on it, but I know that he read it because he talked about specific things in there. I know he read it, right? So when these people can back it up with some actual evidence, like Lance wanted, then I can at least accept that, hey, that's your opinion, and that's okay. But until then, it's just ignorance and talking out of your butt.
Yep.
Indeed.
I just, I hate being sick, bros.
Being sick,
yeah. I'm not necessarily sick. Just like there's been a lot of phlegm in my throat in the morning. Waking up past few days.
Not fun. Oh, also, Maxine brought up a wonderful. Oh, are you okay?
Oh,
that was a Gollum moment. But I was gonna say Maxine makes a good point. It's people say that the EU is silly, but they'll neglect stories like New Jedi Order and Legacy of the Force and other serious stories like that, and only talk about the like rare instances where it's stupid, like Planet of Twilight when Leia fights a Hutt. That's admittedly pretty silly.
I have heard some people claim that the Vong are silly, like, oh, they look like space orcs.
Yeah, that's just being edgy, and they haven't read it, because if they read it, they would know in context that it's pretty good. So I mean, it's subjective. That's fair. People can find it stupid, but I don't know. I feel like the vast majority of people, if they actually read it, would enjoy it.
And a huge thing of 90s sci-fi was like that. Was like having biological organic technology that's advanced. Like you see that a lot.
That was probably one of the most sci-fi things that Star Wars had added to it, was the whole Vong concept of living ships and whatnot. But because they also have that idea in Babylon 5 with the Vorlon.
Yeah, and the shadows.
Yeah. So there's that.
And then in Star Trek, you had like Species 8472.
Yeah, stuff like that. But no, I think if I'm going through my second read of the expanding universe. I'm about to start Children of the Jedi for the second time through. So I've read everything from Dawn of the Jedi forward. And I mean, the vast majority of it isn't silly. The most silliness you're going to get is from those Ewok, like cartoons and comics, along with the droids one. And then you have, like a lot of Star Wars tales can be retarded, but then not even all of it is canon to Legends anyway. It's weird. Star Wars tales is this weird hex on the timeline where it's like some of it is canon, some of it is not. Take it with a grain of salt. And Marcel says in the comments, my own opinion is that no one is going to win hearts and minds by arguing in an Instagram or Twitter thread. People won't be convinced. time is better spent promoting / celebrating the EU. I would say you are correct on that, but it won't convince. So when you debate, usually two debaters, whoever they are already set on their mind wherever it is. So if you go into a debate and it's a live public debate, let's not to get too crazy or anything with what I'm talking about, but for example, if you watch like a debate between a Christian and atheist, I've watched several online. Those two people that are on the stage, they're not trying to convince each other. They know what they believe and they're not going to change. What you're trying to do is change the people that are listening in's perception. So if you talk on an Instagram or Twitter forum, you may not change the person who you're arguing with, but you may change the minds of several people that are listening into the conversation. And that's kind of why you argue for the expanded universe and do that. And now you can do that with love and kindness without, insulting them as people, but you should always be able to dismiss their false claims as false and share the truth. Like the expanded universe not being mostly silly. And like Lance even showed earlier, he had somebody even apologize. So I mean, people's minds can be changed through stuff like that.
Yeah, very true. Like, what I'm gonna do from now on, I'll send people my videos, and that I'll just leave it at that. It's like you can listen or not listen. Mm-hmm. It's like I have much better things to do than waste my time and argue about the details.
Yeah, and I do agree with Marcel though. When we resort to whataboutism, we just look as petty as they do. I'm not gonna if somebody starts insulting the EU, I'll just go share examples. I'm not gonna go and insult I'm not gonna insult Disney or mention anything that I dislike from Disney or all the problems that it may have. I'm just gonna say, well, here's all the stories that are good in the expanded universe. Can you point out any of the good ones you've read, or if they're all bad, can you give some examples? And if you can't, then stop talking, because I win, you lose, because you can't even provide a single example other than Skippy the droid, which was never canon, and the Crying Rock in an Ewok comic that came out in the 80s before the expanded universe even truly began. Hello.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was a long pause.
I was kind of reading something,
That's fair.
And typing and listening in.
Though I will say, if you do watch canon and read canon, like Marcel's read a lot of it, then you're allowed to do whataboutism because you've actually read both. I think my issue is when EU fans who are like me, who don't read the Disney canon or watch it, but they listen to other people talk about it, and then they, go, well, what about this? Don't do that, because you're being just as bad as them. You haven't actually read it. So only if you've actually spent the time do you have the right to critique, is my opinion. Marcel, to your point of convincing the audience, I mean, you can say that, but many minds have been changed through forums and stuff like that. But I get what you're saying. But I've seen plenty of people change their minds that were listening in on the conversation. So I guess it's a case by case, and depending on the conversation. Like if it's just getting heated and the person's not willing to debate and all they're doing is insulting you, then yeah, just let it go. I mean, people can see for themselves the attitude that the person that's arguing with you is having, and it's not worth continuing to argue if all they're going to do is insult you. But if they're willing to back up their points and try to actually have a dialogue, then I think it can be fruitful and helpful at times, at least to the audience. But of course, if you're also a parent with a life, you have way less time to deal with all that crap. But as for all those 20-year-olds that are EU fans that don't really have a life currently, I mean, if you could spend the time, why not? I mean, I don't really do it that much because I don't go on Twitter that much. But, I mean, if you have the time and you feel like you want to do that, then who am I to tell you not to?
Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and go. I kind of just wanted to do this just to make some fun of you haters because I like doing that.
Yeah, it's always fun to see that.
So y'all have a good day. I'll probably and plus I just hadn't gone live in a while and I need to go live again. So I'll probably go live. If I don't go work tonight, I'll probably go live later tonight. So, but anyway, so y'all have a good rest of y'all's day. Thanks for watching. And thanks for joining.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Now it is just us.
Yes, it is just Iron and Alex.
Yeah.
Alex
He did-
Miboki.
You know what? He left the stream, but the stream's still going. It's still live.
Yeah.
He made an error.
Oops.
We'll keep going until he ends it, I guess. We are now in control of this channel. We can do anything we want. The power is in our hands.
Yes, we will take over Lance's channel.
Now we can have a real discussion. Hey, Matt.
Oh, Matt just came as.
Yeah, Lance goes, I'm gonna end the stream, leaves the stream, but didn't end the stream. So now we're just here. Now we're just in charge of everything.
Yes, we have the power.
Mrs. and Mr. Inquisitor named their son Iron. Oop.
Well, I kind of do wish there is a Mrs. Inquisitor.
Yeah, he forgot to end the stream, Matt. Yeah. What? He'd hop on. Look at that. Look at him.
Oh,
Iron,
Matt, dude.
time for you to start a stream,
I have
Iron.
your email, but I don't have the ability to send the link.
Yeah, because I got to go to work soon, so I can't. But that's really funny. But I mean, Matt is here in a sense. I got my profile pic. So.
Yes, he is with us.
Yeah, he accidentally left, but he didn't end the stream. So now.
So it's still gonna be going on.
I mean, theoretically, StreamYard has the longest recording of up to 5 hours. So if he does not remember to come back, this can just go on for 5 hours, and then he won't be able to stream for like a month.
Oof.
Yeah, we have no way to add him once he gets into the lobby if he wanted to. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer, I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I'm going to start Children of the Jedi soon, so we'll see if I still enjoy that. I remember enjoying it. I know a lot of people hate it, so I can say whatever I want, and that's the way I need.
Children of the Jedi,
anyway, I want it.
The writing was a little bit weird and off to me, but, I didn't mind it, It's Planet of Twilight that I just was like...
Planet of Twilight I remember being garbage.
Like, the only thing that was good about it was, like, Leia kicking butt,
Yeah, Leia kicks some butt with a hut. That rhymed by accident.
Because, like, the plot is, I'm still going after Callista. He should have just let go of her at Darksaber. Like, they should have reworked the plot and just had it be, like, Leia's on some mission, she gets trapped on some planet, and...
But we need the trilogy of Callista.
It should have been a Callista duology.
Maybe. But, yeah, that's what I have next. So we'll see what I think about that. With the context of having read Republic Commando and No Prisoners as my background before rereading Children of the Jedi. Someone sent Matt the Jedi Code and Book of the Sith, so he's going to do a review of them next month.
Oh, sweet. Can't wait to see that. Yeah, one of my friends, he just bought the Book of Sith.
I still don't know a lot about them. Aren't they like source books, kind of?
Yeah, that's basically what they are.
I should tell Lance he should end his stream. Let me go remind him that it's still going. Yeah, Lance left and forgot to end it. Only good games.
And if he streams later, let's make fun of him for it.
We should.
Yeah, we'll
that's make fun of him. I mean, look, Matt's the like what 40-year-old here, and he's never done that by accident. Lance is younger than me, and he did this. Come on, man. What's up? He needs assistance. I'm trying to tell him right now.
Tell me what his reaction is.
All right, I just told him it's still going. The stream never ended.
Oh yeah, good point, Marcel. He's not.
No, I know he's under the weather. I'm not actually being mean to him. Kenobi TV show. It has Kenobi in it. That's what I know.
General Kenobi.
I think Darth Vader pops up. I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't know what to tell you.
You know what's fun? It's funny going in. I thought the Obi-Wan show would be like the best, and then I had no hype for Andor, but Andor ended up being the superior show.
Well, you've watched it. You can talk about it. I can't. I don't know anything about Andor. Just that it has a dude that I didn't care about in Rogue One in it.
Cassian Andor. Andor. I love the way that Luthen guy pronounces his name. It's just it's meme worthy. Oh, Marcel wants to hear our 5 favorite
Ahsoka.
things about Ahsoka.
Okay. She uses 2 lightsabers. I like. That's cool. I guess. She's a Togruta. We don't see a lot of those. That's 2. I'm struggling. Hold on. Yeah, you did, Lance.
Yeah, you forgot Lance.
But if you come back on, Matt says he'll make fun of you. He'll come on.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to talk. You can just let Matt take over, and while you are sick and dying. Okay. Before we do our 5 favorite things of Dave Filoni, I still need to finish Ahsoka, and I'm struggling. I'm struggling so hard.
Oh yeah, Ahsoka has her white lightsabers are cool. Let's see.
She's I don't know. I start giving away.
Yeah, I'm at a loss too.
Matt's like, I start giving away a digit of his phone number every minute that this goes on. Hey, good to see you. You should invite Matt. He said he'll make fun of you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, dude. You just kept going. Look.
Oh, Matt listed his favorite things about Ahsoka.
I don't have to watch her anymore. I don't have to read about her anymore. I don't have to listen to her anymore. I don't have to think about her anymore.
Number 5, all of the above mentioned. That's kind of cheating, but yeah, whatever.
She there's got to be something else. She would occasionally have a sweet moment with Anakin, I guess, if I'm being charitable.
My favorite is, I don't know. Matt, I wonder where Matt is at.
She looks like a Lance 2.0.
Lance 2.0 has joined us.
The evolution of Lance is this.
That'll be me in 30 years.
Are you at work?
Yes, I'm at work. Regular people work, but I
work too.
I said, "Oh, look, Lance, I'll turn this on, listen to it while I'm doing some work right now." And then he goes, "Okay, guys, that's it. Bye." And then he leaves. I'm like, "Oh, wait, was this not his channel?" And then Iron and Alex are like, "What do we do now?" And they start talking. And I was like, well, they said, well, we can't. And then Alex is like, of course, Alex feels bad about it. Everyone's like, oh man, poor Lance. He's sick. He just forgot. Poor guy. I feel so bad for him. I'm like, bring me on. I'll talk bad about him. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, though.
It's okay. It seems like once a month I get allergies, which is weird.
Well,
it's like being on my period, I think.
It's not.
Oh my.
Alex understands what you mean by that, but the thing is, in your area, if you look at where the allergies list, and that is a heavy, highly condensed, what's it called, allergic area, because y'all have high, what's it called? What are the things that give you allergies? I don't remember. Allergens. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's heavy in where Lance lives. Because I worked there for quite some time, and I was borderline dying at times, especially during the March, April time, when it just gets even worse. And it used to hit me really hard, but I had some kind of I don't know, I had something, I can't remember what it's called, with my nose, and had a little, what's it called when they put a balloon up in there and then explode it and whatever, or do something, or I can't remember what they did, but it helped me. It opened up my nasal passages.
Yeah, back, when I was in Spokane, the pine trees would bloom, like, and it would get so bad. Like that would really affect me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Only good games like my good points about. Yeah, my favorite things about Ahsoka. I was answering Marcel's question. One, I don't have to watch her anymore. Two, I don't have to read about her anymore. Three, I don't have to listen to her anymore. Four, I don't have to think about her anymore. And five is all the above I just mentioned.
Yep,
Sky
that's great.
guy.
That's my favorite. No, I don't want to hear.
Oh, he's
I
gone.
made it leave. Oh no!
Look what you've done.
Look what you did, Iron.
Shame on
You've
me.
ruined everything. This is gonna be the most viewed stream of Lance's for a while because I had Matt on it. Now it'll drop back down.
Now
Yeah.
it's boring.
Dave
Yes.
Filoni. He also asked about Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni has a beard. Dave Filoni has a cowboy hat. Dave Filoni isn't involved with the EU anymore. Dave Filoni is bothering another canon.
Obviously, internet is not as well here, so I'm now down to Lance 1.5.
Oh, that's so sad. De-evolution.
I went down a grade there. But no,
Oh.
anyway, so yeah, I'm just glad I don't have to deal with Ahsoka anymore. And how do I think she passed away? This one asked me this. And the expanded universe, great. She tripped over Hujib, died, and no one knew, and no one cared to look for her. That's it.
Perfect
And
ending.
Hujib's used it as a dumping ground. And what I mean by dumping ground, I mean by like a number 2 bathroom stall. So she just died in Hujib filth, and no one ever knew what became of her. That's it. Really don't like that character.
Take
No,
the L.
she's survived
Ahsoka.
past Return of the
Take the
Jedi.
L.
No.
If you talk about most characters that I just did not like, that's one. Obviously, Ferris Olin is one.
Ferris
and
Olin is boring. Yeah.
I don't like Ferris Olin. I don't like oh no, what's her name from Knight Errant? I can't stand her. She's just
Kara Holt.
Kara Holt. She has no
Boring.
personality.
Yeah.
The vowels in her name have more personality than she does as a character in Star Wars. It's ridiculous how
Lenari Brock. From
yeah,
Dawn of the Jedi. Boring.
yeah. I put that on there too, but that one wasn't as featured as the other 3 I talked about. I was trying to get people more featured than just a one and done.
That's fair.
But I mean, you're right though. I mean, there's a lot of those who are just in it for one story, one arc, one novel, and they just did not impress. But
Yeah.
since Kara Holt had her own 3 different miniseries, comic book series, and that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone who's just like, man, I really don't care about this person. I mean, you keep talking about them, but I just tune out. I'm sure there's someone else.
Oh, I just finished iJedi. There's the stupid 16-year-old Imperial Moff girl. She returns in that book. I don't care about her. She showed up in the X-Wing comics every time she did.
Oh, shut up. Someone told me that, and I've wiped out iJedi from my mind.
Yeah.
So I don't remember that. I believe everyone, but
Yeah.
iJedi, I was so, and this is the other thing. I promised Brian Board next time I read it that I would focus on the second half a little bit, because I was so pissed off about the first half that I just did not enjoy anything. And he said the second half was much better, and he reminded me a few things.
I don't agree.
That was interesting. I said maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I found the second half quite boring, but I tried. I tried to give it a fair shake.
Okay.
The first time I hated it like you did. In my reread, I'm more mixed on it. I think, especially during the Jedi Academy stuff, there's a lot of stuff that pisses me off. Like where it's like what I noticed though is that Corrin's not acting any differently than he normally does. I've noticed throughout all of X-Wing, he's just this kind of Gary Stu character throughout, and that's consistent in iJedi. The only thing that's different is there specific things he gets upset about that is just like a fan mouthpiece for all the fans that hated that hated Jedi Academy. He's just spewing it out like Q-Zux, like Wedge and Q-Zux together. Of course, Corrin knows you guys are not going to do well together. You guys are going to break up at some point. But if you want to do you, you do you. But I know what's best for you. I know what's right, and you shouldn't be with her. And then there's, of course, the Kip thing where it's like, how dare you forgive Kip? And that was like the biggest sin to me. But there's also a lot of stuff that Stackpole adds that I think is actually enhances Jedi Academy trilogy. But it's all the stuff that doesn't involve Corrin like directly, or it's like Streen has a conversation with Corrin that I really enjoyed. And there's a couple of stuff like that. But it's just such a mixed bag in that section. And then the second half is this girl that was like a 16-year-old during the X-Wing comic. She's now an adult, so it's a little less weird. but she's just super sexual with Corrin. He's married at this point, and he's doing all this stuff to save her. And I don't know. I just didn't care for it.
Horn is like James Bond. Everything goes his way. The ladies go his way. The lightsaber matches go his way. Everything goes his way. So I mean, that's the problem. And like when I was reading X-Wing, I think X-Wing Rogue Squadron series is good, but there's a few Corrin moments. I'm like, oh man, they were doing this from the very beginning. It's just I just didn't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
That Corrin is excellent at everything, and all his wingmates. Like the one time his wingmates, Wedge does this exercise and basically allows all the other rogues to cheat to teach Corrin a lesson in humility. Mm-hmm. Well, even though the lesson is quite clear in May, Wedge gives Corrin the lesson. Corrin's still kind of mad about it, and everyone on his flight squadron goes, "Yes, Corrin, that wasn't right. In fact, if you want to, send a formal complaint to Wedge, we are for you and against Wedge in this, to log a complaint against him over this." I'm thinking, what? Who would say that? In Corrin's imaginary, self-centered, stuck-up world, he would hope that everyone would take his side over Wedge's. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just seemed petty to me. I don't know. And there's so much in that I just didn't realize. And like I said, it didn't ruin the book for me. Those books are still excellent. Yeah. But
so
I didn't notice it as much.
I would put an F in the past. Now I'd be like, it's decent. There's just a lot of things that piss me off about it that rub me the wrong way.
There's a lot of books that I've read that I thought, okay, that wasn't as bad. It doesn't deserve to be in my bottom 10. Like I totally have to do my bottom 10 books all over again after this.
Yeah.
But on books that surprised you, that were better than you remember, do you have any?
It's a good question, actually.
Truce of Bakura.
I think so.
It's good.
I remember liking it. Really I loved it the second time.
I was kind of bored with it when I first read it, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what, that was actually really good. And I think that because of New Jedi Order with the Sissy Rook that they brought back in there, and then in the Corellian trilogy with Gariel, they brought her back in that trilogy. Yep. I'm like, man, that was an awesome book. The more I think about it.
Yeah, it was awesome for one reason, and I enjoyed it the first time through. And then after thinking about it later on, Kathy Tyers had it on easy street, man. I mean, she could have gone in there and just done a Rebellion versus Empire story, and no one would have batted an eye, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, they're still fighting the Empire the day after the Death Star. Got it. But no, she said, let me go into something unique here. Let's make a different bad guy, not the Empire, because the Empire is going to be the bad guy in a lot of these stories later on. But she said, no, we're going to have them try to, team up with the Imperial garrison out there to fight off another alien threat, which was
great.
I mean, yeah, it was a bold move to travel a different path when she didn't have to, and she did. And for that reason, I thought, you know what? I appreciate it. And it'll never be I say it will never be anyone's top 10. It may be, but it's a good book. It's not anywhere in the top 10, but what a smart choice and what a risk to take very early in the expanded universe to do something kind of go a different way than and no one would have been upset if you would have gone the obvious route and just it's another Rebellion versus the Empire storyline because everyone was expecting that. But she says, no, I want to do something a little bit different. And that's awesome. That kind of creative thinking. And she does that for her short stories too. So she's pretty amazing. Mine was a Dark Rendezvous. I remember I was kind of taken aback because I enjoyed it when I read it, but I didn't think it was like wow, it wouldn't be in anyone's top 10 is what I was thinking. And when Chris told me it was his number 1 a long time ago, I was just shocked. I was like, that was a good book. It wasn't a great book. And then I reread it again. I was like, no, it's a great book. I understand why it would be in people's top 10 and even in number 1 because no one writes Yoda or Dooku better. No one does.
Agreed.
It's like Jude Watson. No one writes Qui-Gon Jinn like Jude Watson. No one will. And I mean, even James Luceno, it didn't feel like his what was it called? Deception's Way or something?
Cloak of Deception.
Thank you. Cloak of Deception. It didn't feel like Qui-Gon as much. I couldn't hear Qui-Gon saying those words, but every time Jude Watson wrote him in Jedi Apprentice, man, that felt just like Qui-Gon. You could hear him saying those words. You could hear, Liam Neeson saying those words. It's just great. And I think what Sean Stewart does is he captures Yoda really well, but on top of it, Count Dooku excellently, because you know he's going to be a bad guy. You know his ending, but yet in this book, you're like, oh, he's trying to be. There is good in him. Maybe Yoda can save him, even though you know it's not going to happen. But it gives you the aspiration of, wow, this could really work.
Yeah.
That's really smart writing. That's really good writing.
And you know what else though? Sean Stewart was first forced to put, Obi-Wan and Anakin in it because it's a Clone Wars story, but I felt like he used that to his advantage because I think the way the book is written, had Obi-Wan and Anakin not shown up, I think Yoda might have actually gotten through to him.
Well, that's how he put it in there. He tied it in there going, oh, okay, so your favorite student played jealousy because he would have had him for a moment. And you always, I never play what if, but that book makes you say what if.
Yeah.
Makes you play what if in your head. What if things would have been different? And you actually appreciate Dooku as a person. You want him to be that good guy again. You're not cheering for him because he's the villain. You want to get him taken down. He's not as smug and confident as he once was. The whole discussion of them talking about what do you want, Yoda? Yoda wants a rose.
Right.
That's just wonderful. That is so thought provocative, and you don't need heavy action in your book. You don't need a lightsaber showdown in your book, but just great dialogue.
Right.
Great dialogue like that makes for a grand finale.
That's why Traitor's my favorite.
Say what?
I said that's why Traitor's my favorite because it's mostly just talking.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. You know what else is good? Hugs. Lance
Love
needs
hugs.
a hug. He doesn't feel well.
I give you
Actually,
hugs.
No, you don't. No, don't hug me.
Actually, he can go get some Claritin D. I think that comes over the counter. Or he can. What else can you do for allergies? I can't think. Well, I mean, you can hot pepper sauce it out. But that's something I just do for fun. Yeah, it's just something you got. The hard part is that once all that congestion leaves and then becomes a cough, and then it gets just annoying. You come from you come from being stuffed up, tired, sinus congestion to just an annoying cough that won't go away. So that also sucks. Lance, I'll go ahead and admit it just in case you find out. I was in your neck of the woods last week, but only for 2 days. So
should have come said hi though.
Well, I wanted to, but I did not have the free time.
That's fair.
I didn't get to see any. I had a short list of people I wanted to see, and Lance was one of those 3. But I didn't get to see anyone because it was 2 days of mayhem, and then I was sent back. So
yeah, I probably wouldn't have the time anyway. So
I thought, well, thanks for making me feel less important to you. But I thought, I thought about this. Well, if I stayed late, I said that last day I could do dinner with someone and then go home. But then I didn't want to leave the missus alone that long with 4 kids, so I hustled home as fast as I could.
Yeah, that's fair.
Base
decision.
I brought a car just so I could fraternize with people and also pick up some stuff from IKEA. But unfortunately, that IKEA they ran out of the cube shelves that I get for my board games. And I should have just bought one. How long can you reserve something from IKEA before you have to pick it up? I should have just bought it the week before and then picked it up later, but I don't know what I was thinking. So that was kind of a wasteful trip to drive a car just to get that IKEA shelf, and I didn't get it. A little disappointed by that. A little disappointed. But that's okay.
Myself says that Race Squadron was worse for him. It's not for both. The plot meanders.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex, while you're transforming into a vehicle, you may want to check your internet because you sound like Optimus Prime with his battery dying. Oh, wait, someone put new batteries in you.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Transform.
Alex, I got some AA batteries if you need it. Some brand new ones.
Yeah, obviously. I will you well. So that's great. You know, usually when smokers put that little thing to their vocal cords, it sounds similar to that. You could work at a drive-through now at McDonald's, I think, with that voice.
I'm a protocol droid. I just need some tuning.
Oh boy. I wonder if he's gonna sing Barbie
Damn
Girl
it.
now by Aqua.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
sing Barbie Girl, Alex. I'll give you money.
I don't know.
Yes, I would pay to see that.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh my goodness. You don't know what the song is? You need to come over to the house. My girl's got a Barbie Dream House. I play it for them all the time. They love it.
I'm a Barbie girl in a.
My
I'm not
Barbie
singing it,
world.
but that's the song.
Look at that.
I haven't heard that in years.
And- Yeah, it's almost like I never hear you complete a full sentence right now. But yeah, no, it's good. It's by Aqua. I say it's good. It's not. My girls just love it because it has to do with Barbie, and they have a Barbie Dream House now. And when you have a Barbie Dream House, you just play with one thing, and that's called the Barbie Dream House. Of course, I'll be honest. If I'd have been younger and I still had my superhero action figures, we would have tore that place up. That'd have been a great place to do fights and everything, battles and everything. So they enjoy it. But once Alex moves into the house, he'll be able to. I'll give him some Barbie Dream House hours. He can play by himself or with my girls if he wants to.
Oh, better than that, apparently.
I'll just pretend you said thank you, Matt. I think that's great. Sorry. So Lance, what's the plan for this weekend? Just to get better?
Yeah, basically. But
Oh.
I don't know. I have to work this weekend, and then I have church on Sunday. So I'm trying to figure out if I should actually go in tonight. But I don't think I have a choice because I have no one to take my shift. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Probably so.
I'm gonna have to go.
Then on Monday, a dentist appointment.
You have a dentist appointment. All right, right on.
That
Good
sucks,
deal.
Iron.
Well, hold on. It may be. Is it something good or something bad? Are you getting a cavity removed? Are you getting your braces
Oh no, I
out?
haven't had a cavity in like years.
Oh, okay. So just a checkup.
Yeah, it's just a checkup and cleaning.
That'll be fine. I like how they like to talk to you while you're getting your teeth cleaned, even though you can't respond.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, you can only nod.
So I've always liked that. But I was like, okay, I understand you don't want silence, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, do you expect me to respond? Because all I can do is go,
Yeah, just grunt and make noises.
yeah. So so
My dentist doesn't do that. They just get the shit done and leave.
this is just wham, bam, done. Yeah. Well, I mean that's fine, and I mean, but most of them they're just done by the dental assistants, and they just want to sit there and talk. Mine do at least, which is fine. I don't care. I just hate when they want me to ask. So how many kids do you have? What am I supposed to say? You got both your hands in my mouth there trying to scrape plaque off my teeth. So I never understood that. But that's interesting. Iron, what do you have this weekend besides the dentist on Monday?
I might be moving like a dryer or washer because my aunt and uncle, they had one all of a sudden it started leaking. And it's like 20 years old. So they ordered a new one, and I'll have to help move the new one and the old one.
Oh, good. Well, I'm afraid to ask. Alex?
Yes.
Maybe in a spot with Wi-Fi. There he is.
Hello.
What are the plans this weekend? Yes, I can hear you. What are the plans this weekend? I can hear you, Alex. You hit mute. Okay,
No,
anyway.
muted.
Alex's plans.
I have work.
You have work. Okay.
And a birthday party. Not for
And a
me.
birthday party.
Birthday party.
That is about all. Try to keep my sentences short.
I know, because you're in the bathroom with the heater on. I can hear it in the back.
No.
That's funny.
But no, okay. So for me, I'm helping my sister move into her new house. I think I guess
Nice.
tonight and all day tomorrow. And then that night, I will reward myself with friends coming over for board game night.
Ew.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun day. Even though I don't like the cold, as Lance will tell you, earlier this month it was not cold for us around here. We live in low 70s in January. I was loving it. So,
Lucky
but
you.
now it's gotten a little chilly now, at least in my neck of the woods.
Man, the other day, it was on the forecast. It was looking like it was gonna snow, like bad. So the schools were sending emails out. Hey, we may cancel school this day, just because a little bit of snow. Which I was like, yeah, but it didn't happen. So whatever.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Well, here's something cool that happened to me though. Something I got.
Oh,
I got Crucible, the novel, but I got it in hardback, so I don't have the Legends banner.
All right.
nice.
It has a dust jacket, and it's in good condition, so I'm happy.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good. That's always good.
because Del Rey, they never reprinted it without the Legends banner, so in paperback. So
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of those are, are they hard to come by in hardback?
well,
Oh, that's really
I've
sad. Only
never
good
seen
games.
one except the one I bought.
Did you hear a copy of Imprint recently
Yeah, I saw
sold?
that. I saw that.
Yeah. Did you see how much it sold for?
It was like 400 something.
Jeez Louise.
I
Whoa.
believe it was $384,
Oh,
which
well,
is $364 more than I'm willing to pay for it.
Yep.
I'd throw a $20 bill at a 4-page story by Christy Golden. I'd throw a $20 bill at it just to be nice, but when it got to 50, I was like, well, I'm out. There's no way I would even consider that. And then I checked it on the last day, and it sold for $384. That's not even counting shipping. So you may be right, Lance. With shipping, it probably crossed the 400 threshold.
Scott.
What's going on?
Whoa.
Come.
If Scott's here, I gotta leave now. I'm kidding.
Two
Hey,
people
Scott.
on the Trinity. Here we go.
I don't know if you guys saw what Marcel said, but Only Good Games is the one who bought it.
Is that
You have us.
Young Jedi Knights display?
You have us. Only good games.
Well, Only Good Games. Where are you? Because you can just come over and play games. There's Only Good Games at my house too. Only Good Game Nights at my house.
Make sure to bring Imprint with you so Matt can steal it.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to email back Stevie B. He did email me. I forgot. Now that I'm thinking about all the people he's interviewed here, he did ask, and I've been so busy this week.
He hasn't interviewed me. Dang it, I've never really.
Who? Iron, he hasn't. He will eventually. Lance,
He has a list of people.
yeah, he's going through them in alphabetical order. No, I don't know how he's going through them in order, but anyway, hello, Scott.
How are you, Matt?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I've
the
got to go. Say what?
You have the day off too?
No, I'm at work right now.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Playing
Look,
hooky.
work
Okay.
handle.
I got you.
Someone could come into the training room any minute. Now I've got about a minute left here anyway, but I just wanted to hop on because Lance accidentally left his stream on. He exited
Yeah.
without ending it.
Yeah.
And so,
Me and Alex for. a few
I saw
minutes.
the notification on my phone. I'm like, surely he's not still streaming now. But
yeah, I know. That's the thing. I tuned in right as he was saying his goodbye. I said, wouldn't it be funny if I sent something in the chat? So I said something in the chat, then he leaves, and the chat's still going. It's like, wait, what? I was like, oh, I see what happened. But he's feeling a little under the weather, which was the reason why.
yeah, I've been feeling the same. I had like a head cold the last couple days. I don't know what's going on. Something going around.
That's him too. So, but anyway, that we were just discussing certain things, and I said this in the chat. Someone sent me Jedi Code and Book of the Sith to review, and well, they're going to get their wish. I guess if you send me it, I'll review it. So
Well, Matt, I do. I have read some of your criticism against those books, but I have
You'll
all
read
4 of them, and
That's
I mean,
fine.
yeah, I do agree with that. There is some crazy footnotes, but a lot of it is like really like actual like in the Book of Sith. There's like a whole section of kind of like Darth Bane's, written like how he
Legacy,
wrote
his
down the
thoughts
rule of
during that
two.
thing. Yeah, I read these a long time ago, sitting in Barnes and Noble or Books a Million. I would just sit and read a few pages while my family or my wife shopped because they just took forever. So I'd sit down and read something. And Bounty Hunter's Code, I read. I remember exactly where I read that. Was in the Half Price Books. My wife was in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and she always has to go by uh, Half Price Books. There's several there, but there's a huge one, if I'm not mistaken, downtown or something. I can't remember. There's a really big one somewhere down in Dallas. And so when we went there, I knew I was screwed for the next 4 hours or so. So I said, you know what? I can knock down this book in about 2 hours. So I took the Bounty Hunter's Code out and read it. And the Imperial Handbook is the only one I don't think I've read.
Yeah, that one is relatively new.
Did Ryder? Well, I mean, it's part of that series, but did Ryder Wenham do that one too?
I think he contributed to all of them. Yeah, I think they're all right.
Well, he wrote the first. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Even the new canon one, the Rebels one is new canon. It's not expanded universe. But the Imperial Handbook, the Imperial Handbook's a good one. It doesn't have as many silly notes in the margins like some of the other ones do.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting because I've never read that one. That was the one I never read. I remember the Bounty Hunter Code. I was so excited, but then again, it had the little scribbles there. Someone tell Boba Fett this. I'm gonna get out of here.
Oh, Patrick in the chat says Dan Wallace did them all. So I think he's the main credited author on all of them.
Or really, Dan Wallace was the one. Okay, all right. I haven't looked. I haven't cracked them open yet. They just sent them to me yesterday, or I just received. It was funny because I was like, I didn't order anything. What is this? And I had to make sure it was addressed to me and everything. I was like, that's weird. And then because his name wasn't in it, he put his name on a little card in the middle. Let me know who it was. But I opened it up and I was like, ah ha ha. So I was going to go ahead. It's been a while since I've read them, but I remember they're full of big information. But I'll read them and then I'll give my thoughts on it. I guarantee I won't like it just because of all the scribbles, but that's not the only reason. I don't know. We'll see. When I read it, I'll be able to further articulate. There's some good stuff in it too, so I can't wait to talk about them. But there you go. And then next time, hopefully, he'll send me Bounty Hunter's Code and Imperial Handbook, and I'll do those. I don't know if I'd buy them.
Imperial Handbook is worthwhile. If you buy one, that's the one I would buy because the other ones get a little comical. To the point where it's like this can't be considered like real expanded universe.
Well, here's the thing. I know for a fact in Jedi Code, Anakin is saying something, and then Ahsoka's right behind him. What's up, Sky Guy? Or well, how come you always do that to me? Or oh, now you think that? Oh, that's so. I mean, oh, shut up. So yeah, that was one big reason for me. But I'll definitely reread them because I agree with Lance. There's good stuff in it, so we'll see. That's weird. For some reason, I don't know why I thought Ryder Wenham did those, but it was Dan Wallace, which is of course another guy who did I guess because Ryder Wenham did Jedi versus Sith, and what's contained in those books is similar to what's contained in that that essential guide.
Well, the reason why I really like those books, all four of them, is I'm a big history guy. I love history. History is something I love.
Same.
So here you have these books that are like in-universe documents. I just think that's so cool. Like, yeah, the footnotes. I mean, if you minus that, I just think it's just really neat to me.
No, I love the presentation as well when you're just talking about the printed dialogue and stuff. You know.
Yeah. And I do think a lot of the lore in there is really cool too.
Absolutely. But
it does have a lot of references, expanded universe wise. Yeah. Bounty Hunter's Code one references.
Oh yeah, I remember all three of them tied in books, comic books, video game, RPG material. I mean, they did a great job with continuity, as far as I remember. Again, I've never read the Imperial Handbook, but I'm sure it does too at some point. But no, yeah, I so it'll be fun to reread these. At first, I thought this was like a trilogy. I thought they all came in one book, but I looked online. They come in a 4-pack, But I thought one, and this was just a 2-pack, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I mean, they gave it to me, so.
Well, the one I bought, because I recently just got the books, like a few months ago. It was a 4-pack, like you, but
Yeah.
it had like this extra little slip in there, and it had the Legends banner on it, but it was like describing. So it was a reprint, a Legends reprint. Now the books themselves don't have the Legends banner, but the box set is a Legends reprint, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, this one that I got, it does say it was reprinted in 2021, and it says Disney Lucasfilm, but there is no Legends banner over any of this stuff, which again further muddles the thing. Because I mean, if this doesn't have the Legends banner on it, well, it has tons of references to Legends events. I mean, tons. So
there's
they're
a couple
definitely
things like
Legends, but I mean, the one I got has the banner.
100% Legends is what these are. They were written during that time. I want to say Imperial Handbook came out after the acquisition of Disney, but it came out on its own within the EU because Disney had not made any further content at that time. It was part of that little, everything's put on hold except for a few projects we're putting out there. I can't remember if I'm right on that. Scott can check me on that, but.
No, I think you're right. I think it came out like either 2014 after the decanonization or 2015 even.
I think it was in that unknown period. I think it was released. What does it say the original published date was?
This is 2021. But
the original published date, it was probably in 2014, 2015. It was set to come out with it was part of that whole set, and it was written within the EU without any new canon in it. Well, no, that's the reprint for set. Yeah.
But I mean, Imperial Handbook is considered a Legend because the way this was packaged was there was like plastic wrap over this. This was on the front of it. So I mean, an Imperial Handbook is in this, so it is Legends. So that's
odd because my little 2-pack that came from it was printed in 2021 does not bear the Legends. It didn't bear it was brand new and didn't bear the Legends wrapping paper, which is really odd.
There were several different releases of those. Some came with like little props. I know like the Sith had like a holocron. I think the Jedi Code had a holocron too. The Imperial Handbook had some like Imperial props somehow. And some of those are still in stores nowadays. Those big box sets with the props included. So I think there's been several printings of those since.
Yeah. Either way, it's very interesting. I know why people would want to get them. So yeah, but. Yeah, but I do have to go now, so I'm so sorry. Thank you for having me. Alex, thanks for vacuuming your room while we're talking. I appreciate that too. The ambience of that background, whoever's background noise that is just wonderful.
It might be my computer, but
I would run then if you're going to.
It doesn't sound that loud to me. I don't know.
It's like a nuclear reactor.
And I'm surprised. I'm surprised the cat hasn't come to bug me for food. Around now,
she outside. It'll get its own food.
That's right.
Or it will become food.
Lance, do you have pets in your house?
Yeah, I have a little cat.
Kitty.
Yeah, she's like a little Ewok.
Alex, do you have a cat too?
I do have a cat. I also have a dog.
Shut up, Scott. Do you have a cat? This is wild.
No pets. No pets. No.
Okay,
I'm not home enough.
You
I'm
ruined
not home enough to take care of them.
Well, I didn't know this was a cat lovers stream, so I didn't mean.
But do you not like cats?
I don't have a pet cat, but I don't mind them. But I would never ask for one.
Okay.
You're losing that.
No, I saw.
There was my buddy. Well, I shouldn't tell the story, but my buddy had some pet cats that I absolutely hated, and they hated me. And I noticed that to keep them off the furniture and whatnot, he'd spray a little water ball in their face, tell them no. So, I mean, those cats scratched me and stuff. I hated those cats. And when he was gone, or when he'd go to like the restroom or something, I'd chase him around with the spray bottle, just hit him as much as I could.
No.
Yes.
Maddie, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I saw a thing on the internet which I thought was pretty funny. It was a cat video where it said if you feed your dog, you pet your dog, you take care of your dog thinks you're God, And then it said the same thing for the cat, but the difference is the cat thinks it's God. That's the only difference.
True.
So,
Cats are evil. But anyway, I've got to go, fellas. So thanks for having me on. Scott, good
All right,
seeing you.
take care, Matt.
Good
All
talking
right.
to you, man.
Bye. Oh, Scott, can you share everyone about that Escape from Daggoo copy you have on your shelf there?
Oh,
Give
yeah,
it to
let
me. Give it to
Let
me.
me get it out right now. Here. What can I pass off as Escape from Daggoo? Let me see here. How about these? These are a close second.
Wait, what are
Not
those?
Escape from
Scott?
Daggoo.
What
These
are
are
those?
these are the UK. They're sort of like choose your own adventure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen
books.
those before.
Cool.
So who published these? Let me see. Box Tree. These came out like 1993, 1994, somewhere around there, and they deal with the Death Star plans from Tapwara, and then there's a Boba Fett story there too. So they're
Oh,
fun.
that's cool. Yeah, Matt showed
Nice.
one of those in his earlier videos. I wonder if you can still get them at a good price.
Yeah, you can still find them on eBay from time to time.
Okay.
Well,
I'll look for them.
That's something I
I
want to add to
too.
my collection one day.
Well,
Yeah.
I have obviously I have short stories in my collection. I have novels in my collection. I have comics in my collection. I don't have any RPG material in my collection because really that's not my thing. But I do want to get some of it one day if I find it. But that it's just not on top of my radar to be honest. But
Yeah, the West End game stuff is worth getting, even though they're on Joe's site. You can download them, but they're still really cool to have. Most of them, there's a lot of them that come out in hardcover, including
Yeah.
the Thrawn trilogy and some of the other source books. Pretty cool.
well, if there's one I really want, it's the Dark Strider campaign. That looks really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
So
that comes with some extras. There's like a poster included and
that's
poster of the Far Star. It's really cool.
yeah. That looks really interesting. So I'm interested in getting that if I can find. I know that's pretty expensive because it was probably the most popular one, and it's a box
Yeah.
set. So
Yeah.
that's definitely something I'm interested in. But we'll see.
It's not as expensive as Imprint is. I think Imprint is now the most expensive EU piece of material anywhere, and it's only 7 pages, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I need to learn how to use Lulu. That way I can print it off myself. Yeah, because I know it's on Joe's site. So and a lot of other stuff is on his site too. So I know Brennan knows how to do that. So I have to ask him. But
I have to get going as well, so I'll see you all
Alex.
later.
I love you. Alex,
Take care, Mabuki.
What?
Alex, what is your megabytes per second for your internet speed?
I don't know.
Well, that explains a lot. Anyway, mine is like 25 or something. So.
Well, when it comes to that stuff, I'm as ignorant as the 40-year-olds, so I don't know how all that stuff works. I just know that I press stuff on screens and it does stuff for me. So
Clickety click and it does stuff.
exactly. So, but yeah, I'm gonna head off to work. So you all have a good one.
Bye, Alex. I love
see
you.
Alex.
Bye, Alex.
Good talking to you.
Always. See you.
Palpatine loves you.
So Scott, do you have a copy of Heart of the Jedi?
Yes.
I think most EA fans do.
Couple
at this
copies. I actually have one accessible too.
I have the same copy. Do you have the other one from 2015, Scott?
Unfortunately, I don't. I wish I did. When it came out, I didn't know they were doing a print run, and by the time I figured it out, they had closed it down. But I did read it. That when it was released in 2015, it was released like in sections on Joe's website. He released maybe 2 chapters at a time, so I read it like that.
Oh, that's cool.
See, like,
well, I was in 5th grade in 2015, so I don't have a copy. And I'm a senior in high school now. That's how long ago 2015 was. Just to let y'all know.
Oh my. See, I told my dad I put it on the wish list and said, "I like, hey, get this for me for my birthday," but my dad didn't get it in time. But I have a friend. He bought, I don't know, 7 or 8 copies of that book when it was still available, and he bought all of them with the idea of, all right, one for me, a few for some of my friends, and the rest I'm going to sell for profit off of eBay. And so I was one of the friends he gifted it to.
It turned out to be a good business venture. Not quite as a good as a business venture as the imprint. If you would have signed up for the Hyperspace fan club multiple times, got multiple copies, that would have been even a greater return on the value.
Scott, do you have imprint?
I don't. I have a digital version, but I don't have the actual print version.
Is the story even that good? I obviously haven't read it, but
I don't remember. It's only 7 pages, so it's just like I think it's a lead into the second book in Fate of the Jedi.
Kind of
so you're not missing much.
Yeah, I haven't even finished freaking Dark Nest trilogy, so I should. But this year I do have a reading list of what I want to read. I'm trying to finish Bounty Hunter Wars. I love the first book, but it's been a slog the last couple. Anyway, it's kind of like first book was good, the second book was worse, and the third book was even worse. But and so then after that, my reading list is I'm gonna read Outbound Flight, Outbound Flight, Deceived, Han Solo, both Han Solo trilogies from AC Crispin and Brian Daley. Then I want to read Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mendor, Darth Plagueis, Yoda Dark Rendezvous. Is that it? That's it. Oh, and then I want to finish Dark Nest. That's my reading plan for this year. Hopefully I get all that finished so I can start. Because if I finish Dark Nest in time, well, after Dark Nest, I'm going to read Legacy of the Force, but and then go from there. Finish out the post Jedi books. Because I've read most of them at this point. But my reading, I don't know, I just don't have a whole lot of time to do that anymore. I probably should be doing it now, but I'm here on stream talking about it. Anyway, that's my reading plan this year.
Yeah, you're young. You should have a lot of free time. So, I mean, those are a lot of there are a lot of good books in there. Darth Plagueis, Yoda Dark Rendezvous. I mean, you're gonna really enjoy those. Those arguably could be some of the best books of all time.
Yeah, I actually got Plagueis recently, paperback, no Legends banner, so I'm good. That's all I need. Because the hardback is going for that's probably the rarest. Because if you've seen the hardback version of Plagueis on Amazon, Scott, I mean it's going for thousands of dollars.
Oh wow!
Which I don't think it's worth it.
Wow.
I don't know if that's worth the price. I think they're really overpricing it, but
I mean, I have one here. I'm wondering if I should take out an insurance policy.
Well, you got it when it came out. So some of us like us, we were little kids. I was a little kid when that happened, when it came out. So, but I do have the paperback with no Legends banner, so I'm good. I'm happy.
Did you hear the news? I think there was a guest author that was announced for Legends Con, Sean Stewart.
Yes, Sean Stewart's who it was.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I've never seen him on the convention scene at all. So.
Yeah, and he wrote one of the most well-known books.
Yeah, I'd love to get
probably the most. Again, I haven't read it, but it's probably, I guess you could call it probably the most underrated book in the EU because I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. So.
When it came out, a lot of people liked it.
Really?
But since then, it's kind of flown under the radar. But there's a couple people. It's Joe's favorite book. It's Christopher Nelson's favorite book. It's my favorite book. So a lot of people enjoy it.
Yeah, my favorite novel has always been well, it used to be Champions of the Force, but now it's Vector Prime. So it hasn't changed yet. I mean, I still have a lot more to read. So maybe it'll change eventually, but Vector Prime just blew me away. It was just such an awesome book. Now, the best book in the EU, in terms of objectively, I guess. I don't know. From what I've read, I'd probably have to say Heir to the Empire, but I don't know. That's kind of a normie choice. But I've seen people say Plagueis. I've seen people say, of course, Heir to the Empire. I've seen people say Kenobi. I don't know. What book do y'all think is the best book in the not your favorite, but which book do you think is the best?
I would say Star by Star is probably the best.
Star by Star, good choice.
Noah would definitely not agree with me on that, but I think I think just the sheer
That-
impact it had on the storyline, everything shifted at that point at Star by Star.
Yeah.
So I think just from an impactful standpoint, that's the
Marcel
best.
said Traitor. That's a good one.
See,
Trader's another one.
Best versus favorite. Oof. Oh, that's gonna be hard.
Well, what's your favorite? How about that?
Well,
Let's
my
start-
favorite is definitely the Darth Bane Path of Destruction, because
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
that brought me back to the expanded universe back in that dark time in the fandom for me back in 2014.
Yeah.
For Yoda Dark Rendezvous, that's the book that single-handedly got me interested in the prequel era. Prior to that, I was not at all a fan of that, even though it was kind of my age group that like episode 1 was pandering to. But I didn't follow it. I thought it was so boring, and everything that was released around that time, 1999, all the way to like 2004, they were just hitting the prequels. Everything was somehow tied in with the prequels. There wasn't anything else other than New Jedi Order at the time.
Yeah.
But finally, I read one of the books. I mean, I read Cloak of Deception. I read Shadowhunter. But what was it? Approaching Storm was so bad, I just quit for a while. I quit that whole prequel era after that, up until Yoda Dark Rendezvous, and that single-handedly got me interested in reading like the Republic comics and all that. Got me back to being a prequel fan.
Nice. See, what's interesting is when obviously I'm a lot younger, but growing up for me, the prequels are just Star Wars. The prequels were just part of the saga. They weren't. At that time when they came out, people viewed them as these are just the the new films. The new films are bad. The old films are where it's at. To me, those were the old films. To me, those were, just part of the universe. So I grew up loving them, and that's why I think eventually the sequels will be loved by most of the fandom. I don't think this division will last very long because people who are growing up with the sequels, or people who are born, let's say, in the next 5 years, they're going to be growing up and when they watch Star Wars, they're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, the sequels are a part of that just as much as any of the rest of them are. So, and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with them being accepted, but I don't think that the EU. I just want the EU to be loved, I guess. So I don't care what people view the sequels as, but that's my opinion, and Alex doesn't agree with that. But
yeah, that's an interesting perspective. But if you weren't around for episode 1, you kind of don't understand the media blitz behind it. It was over and above anything that the sequels ever did. Like, I mean, episode 1 was everywhere. And then kind of after it hit theaters, it did its thing. People were like, this isn't really like the previous 3 films. Then it kind of died down, and episode 2 wasn't as big a deal, but episode 1, man, the media craze behind that was just insane.
yeah. Well, I don't know, with the sequels, I just think people had a feeling where it was going to go, and with Disney taking over and all that. I don't know. I grew up with the sequels. I guess I can say that. I watched them all in theaters as they came out. And I don't hate them. I don't really love them. I used to love them. I used to be the biggest TOJ defender. Funnily enough. I don't really defend it anymore, obviously, but I don't know. I just hate when people like, the sequel sucked. Look what Legends did. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
our story is not a tool for you to bash the new stuff.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the sequels in general. I did see them in theaters, but the humor is no good. I think the storyline is pretty weak in all 3 of them, and
well,
I don't know why they put out a not quality product. In my opinion, I don't know who approved to sign off and say, okay, this is the kind of product we want to release, because that's going to haunt them for years and years. In my opinion, they don't hold up.
Well, what I think is, I think Disney has a bad habit of having great ingredients for a story, but they just use it horribly. Like the Book of Boba Fett, I think is a good example. They have some great ingredients for. They have the Hutts in there. You got Boba Fett. You got Cad Bane. You have the Pike Syndicate. You have, in my opinion, things that could have been utilized in a good way, but they just. I don't know. I don't know if you saw it, Scott, but they had some. I think they had some good ingredients, but they just put it together and just made a terrible story. It's just kind of embarrassing. And same with the Bad Batch. You have this group of genetically, advanced clones, and they're just making a series full of jokes and kitty humor and just crap. I haven't been watching the second season because the first one was just so bad. I don't know. I don't think I can continue.
I watched a little bit of it. It seemed to me like they started off with certain ideas, like wouldn't it be cool to have Boba Fett crawl out of the Sarlacc and then do a show around that? And they almost ran out of ideas a couple episodes in.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't really know where the story's going. We're just going to put out content just for the sake of having content because we need Disney Plus subscribers, right? So I think a lot of that they don't really care about the quality of it. They want quantity, and they'll put it out at all costs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And here's how you fix the Book of Boba Fett without really changing too much of it. Instead of having the Pikes as the main villain, you have the Pikes and the Hutt. You have the Hutts as the main villain. The Hutts are a lot more threatening than the Pikes. The Pikes are a joke. They always have been. But here's what you do. The Hutts want to take back Jabba's territory. They want his riches. They want his power that he had. So what you do but then they realize the Pikes also want that. So here's what the Hutts make a deal with the Pikes. Hutts are like, if you help us take back Jabba's power or Jabba's territory, we will allow you to do your spice trade on the planet with Jabba's allies or whoever else wants him. Who else wants to engage in that? Now, I don't know how Boba would. I guess Boba, maybe he gets there first and, he's trying to get Jabba's riches himself because he wants, the power and glory that he once had. But then he realized the Hutts are going to attack him for it. And it'll just maybe lead to a war like that between the Hutts and Boba Fett and his allies. But, and then maybe Cad Bane is on the side of the Hutts. And you do the same thing that you did with the show. But, and then have that little showdown that they had. I think you still could have made it where Boba Fett wants to become a crime lord, quote unquote, and still fit in his character. But instead, they just made it where he just wanted to be a hero and all that crap. They didn't make him the anti-hero he was always supposed to be. They made him into a hero, and you can see that with a lot of the lines, like in the finale. He's like, this is my city, which doesn't even make sense because how is Mos Espa your city? You are a crime lord for Jabba's territory. How is that your city? It's not your city. They don't listen to you, And it just seemed like he wanted to be a savior, and that's not who Boba Fett is, in my opinion. I get the whole thing with the Sand People, but I don't think Boba Fett would stay with the Sand People very long. If he got captured, he would have found a way to escape. They're Sand People. Why would he give them any sort of respect? So I don't know. It's just I thought they got his character wrong. And making the Pikes the main villains they weren't even the main villains. It was, if anything, it was Cad Bane, but he showed up in the last episode and died. So
we gotta have those cameos.
Then Luke and Ahsoka found their way in it somehow.
A couple of points you make there. One, I think Tamara Morrison. I mean, casting him, he's too old. Like he's not young enough. He's not in shape enough for the show, in my opinion. And you had this weird thing going on where I associate his character with Jango Fett. So it almost to make him Boba Fett. I know he's supposed to be a clone in universe and all that, but I have such an association of that actor with Jango Fett that to make him Boba Fett is just that something doesn't quite click right with me. Like that seemed wrong in some aspect because I'm used to Boba Fett from the comics, from the expanded universe comics mainly, and they should have Daniel Logan Patrick's right there. Never got a shot in live action
Yeah.
because from the very beginning, what was it, Underworld? I think Daniel Logan was announced he was going to be one of the first actors on that show, but that never went anywhere. That was back from like 2006 or something.
Yeah.
But the other thing about the Pikes, they were shoehorned in there, I think, because of Dave Filoni.
Wouldn't
Because
surprise
Well,
me.
for sure. For
because
sure.
in the Star Wars lore, the Hutts have always been the main gangsters, right? The Hutts have
Yeah.
controlled Tatooine. I mean, it even says so in Episode 1, right? So
Right.
they completely shifted that to the Pikes just because I guess people thought they were cool in the Clone Wars cartoon, and they want to make live action versions of things that appeared in the Clone Wars, like Cad Bane and those. And I don't know. They were kind of shoehorned in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the Pikes, from what I remember, from how I always viewed them at least, were a joke. They weren't anything serious. They were just there. They weren't like the Hutts. And they did put Hutts in the show. They did for like 2
Yeah.
episodes, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna take Jabba's territory back." And then they pulled out the moment they saw the Pikes. Like, why? You're Hutts. You guys could squash the Pikes if you wanted to. You guys have more power than any crime
It should be the
organization.
other way around. The
Yeah.
Pikes should be the ones who are intimidated by them.
Yeah, if they wanted to have the Pikes try and take the territory, then they're like, "Oh, Jabba's family's coming. We're leaving." Well, that's different. But the fact that they had the Hutts be the ones to retreat because they saw the Pike Syndicate is laughably bad. It makes no sense. And then even then, you had Chrysanthemum in there. I liked Chrysanthemum. I thought he was a cool character, and he didn't really do much, except he attacked Boba and didn't kill him.
Yeah, he snuck
He
into
didn't have his
the.
armor on or anything. He was almost naked, and he
And
did. How do you not kill him? Snap his neck or something. You're a freaking Wookiee.
Well, how do you even sneak into Jabba's palace, right? Don't they have that door
Yeah.
with the eyeball droid coming out?
Yeah.
He's not supposed to let anybody in, right? So I don't know how he got in.
It's I don't know. That show is just. It seems like they sat down for a day and wrote it out, and they didn't really put any sort of seriousness into it. They just we'll do all that. That sounds fine, and people then they worship Jon Favreau. Like, that was a lot of that was his hand. Now I think Filoni had a lot of involvement too. I mean, he had a whole episode to himself, which doesn't make anything better. But I mean, that episode with Luke and Ahsoka was just crazy. I felt like I was watching an episode of Mando.
Oh yeah, Luke's live action appearance, how they did that was horrible. It looked like something out of a video game, which
Uncanny Valley.
I couldn't stand that.
Well, yeah, I think they should definitely recast him if they're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the recasts. There's nothing wrong with that. Mark. I think Sebastian Stan would be good. He's a good actor. He looks just like him. Why not? Now Sebastian has said, I'll only do it if I get Mark's blessing, which is fair. But even the new guy they got, that Jake Lloyd, not Jake Lloyd, whatever that guy's name was, he physically played Luke in Mando.
Right.
I thought, he doesn't look just like him, but I think he could have done a good job. I liked Alden Ehrenreich's Han Solo. I think he could, bring him back for some more Han Solo stuff. I mean, you can recasting characters is okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The prequels did it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, anything's better than that computer generated live action characters.
Yeah.
Those look absolutely horrible. Even Peter Cushing, I was like, why even try that? He looks like something out of a video game. It's horrible.
Well, I will say Rogue One, Grand Moff Tarkin did look. I thought it looked really good, but I can see why people say it did. Now I will say Leia at the end looked terrible.
Oh yeah,
That
just didn't
at
work.
all. And then of course Mando's Luke looked bad. It looked Book of Boba Fett Luke was a lot better, but I think my problem was the voice. You can tell it was synthesized. You can tell it was from a computer. It really wasn't Mark Hamill's voice. So, but it is what it is. So
Apparently, Vader's voice in Obi-Wan was also an AI.
yeah, but you can tell it was an AI too. I could
Mm-hmm.
from Kenobi, I could tell. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I speaking of like recasting, I it makes me think of Black Panther because I don't agree with the decision to kill T'Challa off. Would Chadwick Boseman agree to that? Killing his character off? No, he would have said recast the character, keep the character living. Um, but I guess I can see both sides of the aisle. I guess Disney wanted to honor him, but I don't agree with killing the character off. I think they could have recasted him and still honor Chadwick Boseman, but I don't know.
Sure. I didn't watch Black Panther, but it seems to me like you wouldn't make a story decision based on something that happened in real life. That just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I get they wanted him to be the only actor to play the character, but why kill the character off with him? As you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, but I don't know. That's just my view. Again, I'm not a Marvel. I haven't seen the new film, but I just think recasting characters is okay. That's my point. Recasting characters is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So that I mean, Obi-Wan was recasted. Uh, Vader was recasted. I guess that doesn't really count because he had a helmet on the originals, but whatever.
Wedge was recasted. A lot of people forget that. Wedge
Who?
Antilles. Wedge Antilles is not the same in Return of the Jedi and A New Hope.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Not the same actor.
Really?
Yes.
Who is the other actor? What's his name?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but if you look at Wikipedia and you look at some of the still frames, it is not the same actor.
Here, I'm looking it up right now. I love how I automatically went to the legends section, even though I'm looking up an actor. I didn't know that.
One
I
of
thought
them,
it was the guy.
one of Dennis Lawson, I think, is the one from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but he's not in A New Hope. Get the guy's name in A New Hope.
Oh, Colin Higgins. That's Wedge? I didn't know that was supposed to be Wedge. I thought it was just some random pilot.
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
supposed
cool. In the film, Antilles was played by two actors, Colin Higgins and Dennis Lawson, but both British actors were dubbed with the voice of American David Ankrum.
Quinlan says there's 3 Wedge actors. I didn't know that.
Lawson, who had originally been passed for the role in favor of Higgins, was brought in. Fan confusion over Higgins' uncredited turn as the so-called fake Wedge, with many thinking Jack Claff had been the mystery man playing Antilles. That's cool, though. I didn't know that was. I thought it was just some random pilot.
Well, what's cool is Dennis Lawson did some of the abridged audiobooks for, I think it was the Thrawn trilogy back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So
that wasn't even his voice.
They dubbed a lot of the voices, but I think Colin Higgins.
Yeah. Well, no. It says here, in the film, Antilles was played by two actors. Wait, so Dennis Lawson was in A New Hope? Or am I getting this wrong? Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
But was replaced with Dennis Lawson for scenes depicting the Battle of Yavin. So both actors were dubbed. So I guess in the X-Wing itself, Dennis Lawson was there.
Okay, because I'm like, I could have swore I remember seeing Wedge in A New Hope. I just thought that was some random pilot. I didn't even think that was Wedge. That's cool.
I know it was Wedge because there's game cards, and the picture of Wedge in the game cards is that one sitting in the briefing room. So I'm used to that.
I guess you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be watching the A New Hope briefing scene with some different eyes next time I watch it. Because I just thought it was some random pilot. Didn't think it was him. Very interesting.
I hate how fans dubbed him Fake Wedge. That's so.
Oh, they
cruel.
really said that?
That's so cruel. It says so on
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
So-
fake
so-
Wedge.
Must be true if it's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, must be true.
That was a joke, by the way.
Learn something new every day. How you feeling aspect of a cold? Yes. Otherwise known as allergies.
Oh, it's allergies. See, I have a real head cold, or at least I did the past couple days. Ever since I put out my my newest video, I think that triggered something.
Wikipedia's never got anything wrong. Correct. You're correct, Quinlan. It's never got anything wrong at all.
It has some interesting takes about things like Star Wars graphics being legends. I guess it is legends, but something about supernatural encounters. Definitely not wrong.
Very interesting. Didn't what's his name, Joe, put out a message saying it's going to the printers?
Yeah, and then there was a hiccup, I think, with the printer, so it set it back a couple weeks. So I'm still crossing my fingers for sometime the beginning of this year, but who knows? As long as I get it, I'm not real worried about when.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think I'm actually going to end the stream now because I gotta go, and I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go to work tonight. I don't know. Anyway, so I gotta go. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for, or it's not nighttime, but whatever. Thanks for joining, Scott, Iron, Alex. Thanks for joining, Matt. If you're
An actual
here.
final sign off, not a
Well,
fake out this time.
What I did was I hit Leave Studio last time and I exit out of the tab. I thought, oh well, if I exit out the tab, it'll end the stream. I guess not. I just closed the tab and I shut my laptop off. So I guess that's not how it works. I have to actually hit in broadcast. But anyway, y'all have a really good rest of y'all's day. Thanks for watching.
All right.